1、2、3、4。
Eins, zwei, drei.
Welcome back to Technical Drawing at targetlearning.com.au. Today we're going to do a two-point perspective of this deck. So I've created a plan of the deck. So this is basically the top view of the deck space. There's a set of stairs here and a set of stairs at the back, which we're not really going to see. We have to draw the drawing from the viewpoint A here. So that shows us that the long side of the deck is going to be on the left and the short side of the deck is going to be on our right. We also see in the elevation that the deck is set up like this. It's raised off the ground. There's a set of handrails. And just like in an exam question, there's a horizon line shown here. So what we need to do is just get started. Now you would set up a horizon line. I've done mine 280 millimeters long with a vanishing point at both ends. So the first thing I need to do is drop in a closest vertical on here. Now as you can gather, it's longer on the left than the right. So we need to set up the closest vertical in such a way that I can allow for it to be longer on the left than the right. I don't measure the closest vertical, I just put it in like that. Now I've got the long side on the left and the short side on the right. It's time now to think about the height of the deck relative to the horizon line they give us. So if I can just draw a couple of lines across here, I'll show you how I've divided this drawing up for you. What we can do in an exam question is we can actually measure these 20 millimeters, 20 and 20. So we see that the drawing is set up so that the object is sitting 20 millimeters below the horizon line there. So we see all of the top of the object, it's completely under the horizon line. And the object is 60 millimeters deep. So what we do is we just measure down our closest vertical, those same measurements there, 20, 40, 60. And that way we use those dimensions to set the drawing up. That way we'll get a realistic viewpoint below the horizon line. So if I can just take these lines across here from the closest vertical to the vanishing point, we're setting up the drawing. And the most important thing is to set it up properly so that you don't get problems later on. And we're going to crate the whole deck fully. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So here are the front planes of the deck. Next we need to realize that it's half the width than the length. So I'm going to guess here at my width. I'm going to set that up at 50 wide. And I'm just going to go double here. It doesn't really matter what you do as long as you set up some realistic proportions. So I'm going that width and that length there like that. Okay? Let's finish off our crate here by joining that up to the vanishing point. It does get fairly complex with a lot of lines soon, so kind of watch out for that. And we'll do these ones here. We don't need all of these lines actually, and we can bring them back later on as well. Now I've completely cratered the deck. The next thing we notice is that there are 4 portions, 1, 2, 3, 4, along the width and 8 portions along the length. So let's make those portions now. The way to divide something in half in perspective is to use diagonal lines on the plane that you're dividing. So here I go, I've made that into 2 portions in half. I'll just drop in a diagonal here. And I think where it crosses the midpoint there is okay for me. I'll drop a diagonal in here. And where that crosses the midpoint shows me that last quarter portion. So that's that one. This is this one. Okay, so I've got 4 portions on the width that I can use. Now I need 8 portions on the length. So let's do this as quickly as I can. Diagonal, you don't have to draw the whole line because sometimes it really gets in the way. There's my first 2 portions in half. Now let's whack this one in half. Again, in half, which will give you quarters when I finish this up. That's going to give me 4 quarters, but I need 8 portions. So I can just, where it crosses the midpoint is the same as the diagonal. So I can just take these through here, doing a diagonal on the quarter, and where it crosses the midpoint is halfway. Okay, I've now got, almost got, 8 portions. So here's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you can see they're decreasing in size. Okay, now the deck doesn't go across the front. It comes out one and goes in and then across. So I've got to find that first point which is there to axe that off. So let's create the stair block. That's going to be the front edge of the deck. In the same way, that's going to be the front edge. Let's run this back in here to create the stair block where that meets that one. Should be the same up here. That's the back corner of the steps. I now let's run the top ones across to this line, and where these cross this line is where these portions are. This will become clearer in a little minute for you. I'll just run them to there, run that to there. That's it. Okay, I'm just gonna rub out a little bit here because it's getting a little bit messy. We're not gonna need this gear here soon. So let's just bring that back so you can see it. And as far as I know, that's coming there. And there. Okay, so I've now got the block ready for the stairs. And I've got these 8 portions here. All right, so the floor is going to be at this height. Wait a minute. From this point, I've got to find where this floor starts in here. So it comes around here, up here to that point, and the floor heads in there. Well, that's where the stairs are, I should say. Okay. Now, oh yeah. I think I'm getting a bit confused here. So that's my floor line at 1/4 of the way back in. Okay. Now, at the moment I've created that shape there. So it's time now to create this indentation here. So we notice that we go 1, 2, 3 back and 1. So let's do the same thing there. 1, 2, 3 back, which is here. Put a line across there. We've got to go 1 back in. There, we've got to go 1 back out this way, which is there. Beauty. Now, where does the floor come back and hit? From there, back to there, there, back to that point is the back of the floor. Okay, now I know this is going to look pretty indistinct at the moment, but I'm starting to get it. It comes along there, up here, around there, down here, and back that way there. Okay, I reckon it's time to put some posts in. Now, I'm just going to simply double these up. I know that we really should offset them, but for the sake of this drawing, I'm just going to double up what I have so that it looks a little bit like a post. Okay. How's that? Now the front post will go both sides of the closest vertical. Just go there, and these posts, I'll just drop in these here. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do those back posts later. Let's check the height of the front post as my dog's barking. About 28 millimeters. Is the height of the front post. So you can notice that I can measure on the closest vertical. All right. There's the front posts coming up. Let's heavy them in a little bit so you can see them. just like that. Okay, now I've got to drop in some steps, and I can see these stringers start at about 8 millimeters tall, which is there, and they run up to here. So let's drop them in there. Find the same point on the other side, up to that same point there. Give them some thickness inwards, and then a nice parallel line for the bottom of the stringer. Then we want to get the height of the stairs. Now I know there's 4 stairs 5 millimeters apart. So my first step is here. Now they've got to go back in as they come along. So this is pretty tricky. I'm really just going to eyeball it off the stringers here. And I'll just do the face of the steps first. Really, you're just estimating these. Is fine for this sort of drawing. Down we go down there, just to give these a vertical front face. Then we'll give the steps some width. And then we'll kind of estimate the depth that they should be. Hope that looks kind of half okay for the stairs there. Right, let's carry on. For the thickness of the deck, heads across here. Like that. Now I'll just rebuild these front posts so that you can see them. There we are. Just like that. All right. Let's take the thickness of the deck across here. Then let's add some thickness to these posts so that they look realistic. Okay, and step them off on the bottom nicely at the right angle, always lining up with the vanishing point everywhere I go, making sure that my set square is touching that vanishing point. So I go through. Okay, next let's jump into the handrail. Just seen that I've missed that 3D point there. Handrail there. Now we have a post in the back here on the left side of the stairs. So let's just bring in this handrail. Now I'm going to make the handrails 3D. Hope it's not too wide. Back there. Too bad, but I think I need a third line on there for the depth of the handrail. Possibly got a little bit too high, but that'll do. That's okay. We now need to put in the handrails for the steps. And you will notice that in perspective, these are not parallel lines. Those two handrails converge to their own vanishing point there, actually. Now my deck at the back came to that point there because I had, you can see that I have one, two, three, 4 portions or 5 portions from the front. So if I trace that point through to the back, I end up with that line. So if I run a handrail back through here, that's where it is. And then it's 1 portion thick there. So there's a gap and I need to run the handrail across there. Let's double it up. Depth of the handrail. And the thickness there. Okay, so we've got the handrail running around there. Then there's a post here. So this handrail comes through here. And there's the gap for the rear stairs. And I'll just bring this to that same point. Then I've brought the handrail to the back to the right point. I now need to find the points where these are. One is there. Just projecting from the front through to the back where it hits the baseline of the deck. What have I done? I've done that one, and I need this one. It's about there. So let's put in some posts there. Let's do the same thing from here. So as I project it across there, when it hits the base of the deck, where's this next one there? Which should come to about there. Okay, and then we have a post in there and another one in here somewhere at the back. All right. Lastly, I just need to show these stairs handrails going down because the stairs go down to the beach on the back of this deck. You can see that in the photos next to this. video. All right, let's heavy in what we want now, and I think I'm just about there. Okay, so we'll just fix this little post. Let's put some 3D on these posts. And that's pretty much your deck. Heavy this one in. Like that. So just recapping that, I began with, I needed to draw the deck with 8 portions this way and 4 portions that way. So I created it all. Then I used diagonals to find those different portions there. And then I had to cut into the crate to find the position for these stairs. Thanks for watching. I hope that helps.